Hello and welcome back to Matterhorn. It's hard to believe that 2 years have passed since the Nintendo Switch was released. In that time, it has sold over 33 million units worldwide, putting it on pace with the Nintendo Wii and Sony PlayStation 4. Not only that, but it has ushered in an entirely new way of playing video games. As a person with a full-time job that requires 10 to 12 hours of my life each day, the arrival of the Switch was nothing short of miraculous. With the Switch came one of my new favorite games, Zelda Breath of the Wild, as well as older ones like The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, that I could play in an entirely new way. Nintendo has more than done their part in bringing hit after hit to the system, with huge releases like the aforementioned Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, to mid-tier games such as Mario Tennis Aces, Super Mario Party, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Not to mention big names like Kirby and Yoshi getting their own games as well. Looking back over the past 24 months, there have been well over 1,000 games released for the Switch. Each week brings the promise of a new indie hit, a re-release of an older hit, or even games looking for a new lease on life. Nintendo has given overlooked games from the Wii U era, such as Mario Kart 8 and Bayonetta 2, a chance to reach a much larger audience, while also allowing them to realize their full sales potential. So, how has the Switch become so popular then? Well, the major carrot for the system was originally Breath of the Wild. This is a game that had the highest Metacritic, at 97, of any game this generation. It was sitting at 98 for a long time, before finally dropping down to 97. Not only that, but the critical response to the game was not limited to just high scores and perfect scores. It was how gushing those reviews were. People could hardly contain their praise for the game, and now, 2 years later, it is still every bit as good, in my opinion, as the reviews then suggested. Zelda really was the perfect game for the system. There were hundreds of hours of content that sucked people in for hours at a time. It really showcased how versatile the system could be by including the ability to play this epic game anywhere, at any time. Also, take a look here at all of the games I've purchased for the system. I have played all of these, some of them for dozens or hundreds of hours. The reason I've been able to put so much time into many of these games, when I couldn't on PC or other consoles, is because I could take the system with me. I was traveling for work a lot last year. I'd be taking transcontinental flights and would be able to put in 3 to 8 hours of gaming on any given travel day. At the hotel, I could unwind after a long day with some games. Previously, I would just be watching videos on my phone or laptop when I was traveling. Even major third parties like Bethesda and Take-Two jumped on board pretty early. Bethesda was particularly surprising in their support, where the initial reveal video for the Switch had Skyrim prominently featured. Bethesda followed that up with Doom, Wolfenstein, and Fallout Shelter ports, with more games set to release for the system like the upcoming Elder Scrolls Blades, as well as Doom Eternal and the next Wolfenstein as well. Take-Two released NBA 2K18, a great port that looks fantastic on the Switch and has feature parity with other consoles, to even the remastered version of LA Noire day and date with other consoles. The only other major holdout on the system has been Electronic Arts, but even they are showing signs of coming around. It isn't a secret that the Switch can't run a lot of the most technically advanced games released today, but there are a ton of independent developers whose lead platform is now the Switch, and back catalogs from every major developer can be ported to the Switch without any issue at all. And that is part of the allure of the system for both fans and developers. There's enough power in the Switch to allow some current generation titles to perform okay, while anything released last generation and earlier can even be upgraded. This adds an entirely new dynamic to any port, as they can now become a portable version of that game. Because of this, I had the opportunity to discover games like Doom, Abzu, Cities Skylines, Wasteland 2, Wolfenstein 2, Darkest Dungeon, and Civilization 6, among many, many others. Simply put, the ability to play many of these games that interested me but I never had the time to check out were now a click away on the Nintendo eShop from being able to be played anywhere at any time I wanted. So, kudos to Nintendo. They've built a beautiful and sleek system that has taken the world by storm. 2019 appears to be a great year for the Switch as well, with new games in these series: Yoshi, Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion, and Pokemon. They also have a remake of Zelda Link's Awakening on the way, and that's just what we know about. Third parties are jumping aboard in a major way as well. The future is bright, and if it is anything like the first 2 years of the system, we are in for a wild and fulfilling ride with the Nintendo Switch. If you liked this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching.